And we are into the month of March, so let the madness begin. Good evening, everyone. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon, our producer Jason Winchell to our left. Mike Lang is up with the fans. It's going to be an action-packed crowd here at Father Birkenhauer Gymnasium at Salesianum High School in Wilmington, Delaware. It's going to be your fifth-seeded Salesianum welcoming the 12th-seeded Poliytech Panthers. So, Coach, it's always interesting when you got a 5-12 matchup, whether that be in the state tournament, the NCAA tournament, any type of tournament, and it's going to be a fun one here tonight.
I think this is going to be a terrific round of 16 game, Nick. Two really good teams in kind of different ways in arriving here. Poliytech ran through the Henlopen North Conference. They were undefeated. They played a really good schedule, but they took care of all their key wins throughout the year. They had 4 losses, 2 were out of state, and then the other 2 were in state. Sally's, on the other hand, spent the better part of their early schedule playing out of state, playing some really difficult teams. This is something that Sally's has done for a long time. Coach Trevison has always made it kind of the hallmark of his program. It gets them ready for this time of year. We saw them against Howard in the last game of the season. I thought they played exceptionally well, did so many good things. This is a team that's really ready, I believe, to make a run. Poliytech's going to give them everything they can handle, and we'll see how it goes here in this round of 16 game at Sally's. Again,
one of the better second-round matchups. Of course, maybe we're biased because we're here courtside, but it's going to be a great one. And, Coach, before we dive into the matchup at hand, let's talk a little bit about everything that went down in round number 1 on Tuesday. We had the luxury of being in Bear for the Caravel matchup with Cape Henlopen. That one wasn't as close as maybe we expected. Caravel got out running early. That defense turned into offense. They were spectacular in that 82-48 win. Also in round 1, Conrad, the 16 seed, the only upset, losing to the 17. Not really a big one either when you have 16 versus 17. But Mount Pleasant gets the win 69-58. Friends, the Quakers, take down the Cougars from Del Castle 51-41. Poliytech in their first round matchup had a home game against Tatnall. They got the win 47-40. Dover over Archmere 45-33. That one very close throughout the game. And then St. George's and Hodson 56-47 in favor of the Hawks. Indian River gets the win over Lake Forest 46-42, and Laurel over Woodbridge 71-48. So that takes us here to round 2, Coach. And let's talk a little bit about some of the other matchups. You got Appoquinimink and Laurel. That's going to be a good one down in Middletown, Delaware. No Hodge Bell. That is a killer for the Jaguars. He was their point guard. He was kind of the engine of that team. We'll see how they do without him after coming off of their first round bye. William Penn and St. George's over in Newcastle. That's a sold-out contest for the Hawks and the Colonials. It's a tough place to play over there at the home of William Penn. But 2 good ones there, Coach. There should be some good 2 matchups for some other groups today.
Well, what a challenge for Appoquinimink, losing a key player, and that is going to be important, but they've had some extra practice. I'm sure they're ready to go, but that's a big loss. And in the William Penn St. George's game, a big rivalry game, and I just love those blue hen matchups. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, probably going down to the last minute or 2. Foul shots, my guess, are going to make the difference in that game.
William Penn, phenomenal from the free throw line. They can get there and they can knock them down. We'll see how big of a role that plays today at home against the Hawks. Sanford and Caravel, a rematch, Coach, of a game we did in Bear. Caravel did what they did against Cape Henlopen in that one. They established the pace, the defense. They were out and running to a big 20-point victory, but it's tough to beat a team twice, and they'll get Ty Perry and company again in a rematch tonight. And then your top seed, Middletown Cavaliers, they're going to take on the Mount Pleasant Green Knights coming over off of their upset win over Conrad.
Be a little careful with Mount Pleasant. I really like this team. I saw them at the end of the year. They're playing extremely well together, well coached, trying to control the tempo. Now, they've got the challenge of having to go down to Middletown and playing them on their home court. Middletown, extremely good, talented. They will probably do a great job of defending their home court, but Mount Pleasant is for real. The other game, Sanford and Caravel, as you mentioned, a rematch, which Caravel won actually pretty handily. I think things are going to be different. Ty Perry over at Sanford will change up that losing hand, so to speak. They're playing at home. I think they'll do a better job defensively. If Caravel plays like they did on Tuesday night, they're going to be tough for anybody to beat. They were electric. They had 3 scores. Their bench played extremely well. That was an outstanding effort by Mark Tobin's crew.
And then rounding out the slate here, besides our game between Sally's and Poliytech, Seaford and Dover. Dover able to squeak out a win over a tough Archmere team. Now they got to go on the road to take on the Blue Jays, a tough environment down in Seaford. And then Howard and Indian River, the Wildcats, they've been great at home all season, except for that game we did against Salesianum. That one got away from them, but they get the Indian River Indians at home, a chance for the Wildcats to get back on track.
What was impressive about Dover's win on Tuesday night was that they did not play their type of game, yet they were really good at playing in the low-scoring game. They were very tough. Archmere had a lead late, and then Dover was able, probably in a game that it could have gone the other way, but Dover hung in there. Give Steph Wilson a lot of credit and his team for kind of finding a way to eke out a victory in a game that didn't want to go their direction. So great credit to Steph. And then, of course, in the other game, Indian River comes off a big rivalry win against a good Lake Forest team. This young man, Bradford, can really play and shoot it. I think it'll be a tough task for them to come up north and play against Howard. Howard plays extremely well at home. But watch out for Indian River. They're very athletic, and I don't think they mind if they play a fast-paced game against Howard.
And here we go now, moments away from starting lineups and national anthem here courtside at Salesianum High School. So we'll get you these starting lineups here in a few minutes here for intros, but we will stay here live for the starting lineups. And then, Coach, Saturday we will have quarterfinal action across the state. Of course, it's time and place to be determined here following tonight. Jason had a chance to check out some of the girls' round one last night. Jay, you had Dover and St. Mark's. How was the girls' tournament able to kick that one off yesterday?
It was a good win for St. Mark's. They were led by the sister of Brandon Buffone.
There you go.
Freshman Sophia Buffone hit 4 threes on her way to 15 points, and St. Mark's cruised into the second round. But
and there he is on cue, Jason. Brandon Buffone, the DIAA award recipient here ahead of the ball game. But you said, how about that, Jason? You got a Salesianum and a Spartan both in the same household there.
Yeah, well.
A little bit different, I guess, when it's a girl and a boy, but still have that rivalry.
Sophia credited her dad for her sharp shooting. Of course, Brandon Buffone hit one of the biggest shots at the Carpenter Center when it first opened in that win over Sanford.
Jason, you weren't even alive back then. You were too young.
I was a freshman at Sally's in the crowd going nuts. That was my first time at a playoff game, at that place. I always, when I was young, I would always go to the field house to watch the championships. I was at the Carpenter Center when Alex Carlson hit that buzzer beater against William Penn, one of the greatest state final games I've seen at that building. So I'm kind of a history buff. I love going to these tournament games.
And we've got another one right in front of us here, moments away from getting underway. It's round 2 of your DIAA playoffs. We're going to take a break here, Jason, with the national anthem. Then when we come back, it's tip-off right here on North Broome Street.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com. First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com. First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16.
And we are back live, ready to go. It's round 2 of the DIAA Basketball State Championships between number 5 Sally's welcoming number 12 Poliytech. It's a packed house here at Father Birkenhauer Gym, Coach, and we've got some guys all around us as we are underway as Hines wins the tip and Sally's will control things to get started.
Well, important early on for Salesianum to try to dictate the pace, get into the flow. Poliytech's going to open up in a little bit of a matchup zone, which they play from time to time under Coach John Pearson.
And how about that start? The alley-oop to Justin Hines, and one of the most athletic players in the state, able to throw it down to get things started. So Poliytech trying to answer after a quick highlight reel to get started. And now a steal for Salesianum. Working in the corner, it's going to be a Kareem Thomas three, short off the front end of the rim into the hands of Jalen Anderson.
Well, Sally's will spread the court. They'll play 4 around 1 with Johnson in the middle against this matchup zone. Look for a little bit more movement.
Give and go, able to get it back, but unable to finish with Xavier Brewington. Another miss for the Panthers, and now Sally's out on the break.
Salesianum's guards do a terrific job of defensive rebounding, so look for them to be a big factor here.
Tough vantage point for us over there in the far corner. But Sally's going to slow things down, play at their pace here. They did a phenomenal job of that the last time we saw them against Howard. Buffon will step into an open three. Couldn't get it to go.
Well, the zone's forcing Salesianum out. Look for them to play through the middle a little bit more often. They like to flash, and their Justin Hines was available in the post. You want movement, you want the ball and bodies to move against the zone.
So for Poliytech, it'll be Brewington, Sheldon Hoskins, Gamber, Little, and Anderson. And for Sally's, Thomas, Hinson, Hines, R.J. Johnson, who's had a great sophomore campaign. Here's a drive, layup too strong off the glass. The putback is up and through, though, courtesy of Darrell Little.
Oh, what a great job by Little getting himself positioned. The junior has had some outstanding games. The leading scorer for Poliytech can do it in a lot of different ways. They're going to need to hurt Salesianum on the offensive glass.
Henson, a little jab step. Buffon, open corner three is long. Rebound, though, batted around. That's going to be last touch by Poliytech off the hands of Xavier Brewington.
One of the problems with the matchup zone is when you space the court and get 2 people in the deep corner, they are going to be available for shots. Now it's just a matter of whether they can make them or not.
Sally's inbounds. Here's Hines, going to put it on the floor. Another quick kick to the corner. The side pocket three for R.J. Johnson goes.
R.J. Johnson has the capability to play inside and step outside.
And a quick answer down the other end for Poliytech. I believe that was Darrell Little once again.
Well, Little is extremely fast in the open court. Poliytech wants to play an up-tempo game. Look for them to push the ball at all times.
Henson, power dribble, fades away and knocks down it from the free throw line.
Henson's got a terrific mid-range game, plays well off the dribble, has really improved his long-range shooting.
Now we're off to the races here early. Almost 3 minutes into the opening quarter, a 7-4 lead in favor of Salesianum. Little trying to get downhill, falling through the baseline. Floater with the right doesn't go. Offensive rebound to Poly. And then active hands strip it away. Hines now from the free throw line. Looking to kick to the corner. He'll take it himself. Splits 2 defenders up and through.
Hines is incredibly quick. He's got great body control. Can drive from the mid-range. Did a wonderful job there of shielding the ball away from the shot blocker.
So 9-4 early Salesianum. Little drives, and that time R.J. Johnson, the sophomore, a little bit too aggressive out on the perimeter.
Now that's just a youthful mistake. He was in great position laterally to challenge the dribbler, and for some reason he decided to reach in to try to create that steal. If he just plays back in his stance and plays positional defense, he won't get in foul trouble, and he won't then get exposed on drives to the lane.
So Poliytech to inbound after the foul. Hines, he'll be tasked with Darrell Little here today.
Right now, a lot of standing by Poliytech once they get settled into their half-court game.
Little able to split the defense, but I think they're going to call it on the floor. As he was able to get by two Salesianum defenders, put it in off the window, but a foul before the basket, and now the Panthers will inbound underneath.
Darrell Little, very explosive. He's got a long and quick first step, allows him to get to the basket. Poliytech needs some more movement, and they also need to work the ball side to side more often.
First foul on Hinson. Little pull up from the baseline, knocks that through. Or excuse me, not Darrell Little. That was Xavier Brewington, one of the other big three members for the Panthers, and he's got his first field goal.
Brewington, a four-year starter, a veteran, has been around a long time. He's got a really good shot off the dribble in the mid-range.
High post to Hines, almost taken away. Kick to the corner to Thomas. Side pocket for Thomas. Rolls out, but how about Justin Hines? What an opening quarter for the junior.
Hines is terrific. He's long, he's athletic, as I mentioned earlier, and he did a great job there of positioning himself for the miss.
Little trying to take him now one-on-one, stuck on the baseline, and he slid that foot on the baseline. It'll be a turnover for the Panthers. Sally's will get it back with 3:26 and an 11-6 lead. Sally's
has done a nice job of leveling out the dribble penetration in their half-court stabilized defense.
3:13 and ticking. Buffon. Now to the other wing. Hinson will let it fly. Almost went in. Johnson, though, right there. And the offensive glass has been key for Salesianum here in the opening quarter.
Poliytech's got to do a much better job in this zone of blocking out. It is a difficult task because you do not have an assignment per se. You've got to rotate. You've got to get a body on this bigger, more athletic Salesianum team.
Brewington showing off the handle. We'll work it around. Now it's Gamber. They make the extra pass into the corner. That three for Sheldon Hoskins won't go. Rebound to Hines. Signs looking for somewhere to go. Cross court to Hinson. He'll just step into an open three. No good, but how about R.J. Johnson? The offensive rebound, the putback, no. Hinson skies for the putback. That won't go either. Last touch by Sally's, but even on that play, Coach, Sally still dominating the glass.
Johnson, Hinson doing a really nice job of positioning. Now, as an offensive rebounder, unless you practice it a lot, an open hand, one-handed tip is really difficult. What happens is players tend to not spread their hand enough, don't have as much control, and then find a way to miss it. You're almost always better going up with two hands, directing it with two, or bringing it down and going right back up.
So 13-6 here in our first timeout. 2:26 to go here in the first quarter. Justin Hines has 6. R.J. Johnson with 5 for Salesianum. Darrell Little, 4 of the 6 for Laurel. Some of the games around the state now. William Penn up 7-3 at home over St. George's. Caravel and Sanford, they're going at it at the home of the Warriors, who received that first round bye. And how about Sanford up to an 11-4 early lead in that opening quarter for the Warriors.
Well, Ty Perry must have used that extra week, or that week off and the 2 days to his advantage, and that's really tough. One thing you want to do if you can against Caravel, if you can get ahead and dictate the pace, Sanford is really good at closing out quarters and halves. Their free throw shooting is typically superb.
Middletown at home against Mount Pleasant, 13-9 with a minute left to go in the first quarter, so the Green Knights looking strong early in that one. But we're back here ready to get underway. 2:26 to go in the first, and now some pressure out of Salesianum.
Sally's doesn't press a lot, but at times they like to just show it. This is more of a harassment press, try to slow them down, and in this case create a very sloppy turnover.
And no one in the realm of that one. Now Sword out, fresh in the game, reverse layup.
Well, we talked about Sword out the other day. He is a dynamic defensive player. A junior, comes in off the bench and gives him a lot of energy and has been driving the ball of late.
How about the return from Xavier Brewington with a quick triple to answer down the other side?
Brewington's got a very quick release, knows his spots on the court, in great position there to take advantage of some lackadaisical Salesianum defense.
Here's Thomas now straight away. Poly still sitting in the zone as we approach the 140 mark of the first. Thomas in the corner. And he'll get called that extra jab step, and he'll get whistled for the travel, a turnover for the Sows.
Well, Salesianum doing a nice job of spacing the court. They will skip the ball. They'll flash into the post. Their first turnover here in the quarter. I would say they've gotten off to one of my keys, which was have a great first 4 minutes. They've done a really nice job of kind of maintaining their composure, taking good shots.
And we'll reiterate those keys when we begin the second. Poly answers the press. Little able to put up the floater. No good, but able to clean up the mess is once again Xavier Brewington, and he's starting to put together a nice little run for Poly.
A lot of different ways the senior helps his team, that time positioning on the weak side.
Back to Hines. They like to let him distribute from that free throw line, try to attack the zone that way. Going for the steal with Sheldon Hoskins, couldn't get it, and then Hinson couldn't make him pay.
Boy, that floater, so many players in today's game want to take it. You're almost always better off playing off 2 feet in the mid-range.
And how about that dribble by Little? Tried to get around the entire Salesianum defense, just couldn't finish. Now Sword out the other side. Back up top to Justin Hines. And now as we tick under a minute to go, and a 15-11 ball game. Kick to the corner, and then a whistle and a touch foul over there on the far side. Or excuse me, that's going to be offensive. I think he stepped on the line.
Stepped on the line.
So there you go, courtesy of Jason Winchell. Give you the right call there, and a turnover for Salesianum there on the far, right in front of that Poly bench.
That's Anthony Smith, their dynamic freshman point guard that comes in. Talk about energy. He and Swartout do a great job of coming off the bench, but that time just playing a little too fast along the baseline, stepped out of bounds.
So under 35 seconds to go, a 4-point lead for Sally's here at home in round 2 of the playoffs. Swartout almost able to poke that one away, and now it's Darrell Little. Kicks to the corner. One more now, it's Wilkerson, and they'll have 22 to shoot. And how about the hands from the freshman Smith? Almost pokes it away. Gamber able to corral it open from the baseline. Shooter's roll falls.
Well, I give Poliytech a lot of credit. Sally's went for 2 steals, missed them both, and that allowed them to have a numbers advantage down on the baseline, and a fine shot by Gamber.
3 seconds to go for Hinson. He's going to have to pull up. He will as the time expires. That 3 won't fall, and that'll do it for quarter number 1 here from Birkenhauer Memorial Gym. And we've got a good one after 1 quarter of play, 15-13. Number 5 Sally's on top of number 12 Poly. We'll take a break. We come back, second quarter action live from Wilmington.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Eggspectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality. High Five Hospitality, founded in 2000.
And welcome back to Salesianum High School. It's round 2 of your DIAA Basketball playoffs. Nick Allison journey alongside the coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell, Mike Lang on the camera tonight, Coach. Let's go over your keys to the game here ahead of quarter number 2. A 15-13 lead for Salesianum. What do they got to do to keep this lead and take home a victory?
For Poliytech, I think they need to want to encourage an up-tempo game. This game wants to be played in the 60s and 70s. They want to establish their 3 scorers early on, and they've really gotten 2 of them off, and they'll need to get Gamber going a little bit more. And then they have to have an answer for Hinson, who they've done a pretty good job other than a couple of plays early on. For Salesianum, they definitely want to control the pace, play this game in the 50s. They need to get some points out of their defense. And though it's over now, I thought get off to a good start because they had not played in almost 2 weeks, which they did.
Missing a tough bunny underneath that time was Cameron Wilkerson. Just rolled off the rim. And Sally's going to work it the other direction. There's the freshman, Anthony Smith, impressive here in the second half of the season. Tried to bounce that one to the baseline to Johnson and stolen away. Gamber up ahead, unable to finish. I think that one got blocked as Brewington couldn't get it through. Gamber, though, resets, will fire from 3. Too strong, rebound to Smith.
Well, one thing I like about Poliytech, they want to share the ball with their teammates, doing a good job with some hustle plays, keeping themselves in this game.
Johnson, quick trigger from beyond the arc, couldn't get it to go. Rebound to Poly, and Darrell Little takes a shot from the sophomore. And maybe a frustration foul after the missed triple from the sophomore R.J. Johnson, and that, I believe, will be his first.
Right now, Sally's has gotten a little out of rhythm offensively. I thought they moved the ball with better spacing early on in the quarter. Now they've kind of settled for some early shots. And if you take a bad shot, the only thing you should do there is sprint back on defense. Don't try to make up for it or the miss. Just get back on defense. That time Johnson, showing that youth, went in to try to make up for the missed shot.
Second foul on Johnson. He'll exit the ball game. So it's Thomas, Sword out, Buffone, Smith, and Hines for Sally's. Gamber, a little. Wilkerson, Brewington, and Sheldon Hoskins here for Poly. Off of the dribble, that shot off the mark for Brewington. Long rebound to Salesianum. Sword out, inside out dribble. Here's the freshman Smith, wants three. And another quick shot on the other side from Salesianum.
One pass, 1 3, that was offline. They're better off reversing the ball, get everybody a touch before they shoot it early on. This is playing into Poliytech's hands at the moment.
Here's Wilkerson, top of the key. He'll hand off to Gamber. Gamber makes a defender miss, lost control of the ball, and now Kareem Thomas has it quickly for Sally's. One more up ahead pass to Sword out, couldn't finish. Thomas there to clean it up.
Well, a nice job by Thomas after the pass, following it up. Sword out, got caught up in the air, couldn't come down and fake. A nice retrace by Poliytech's defense, but then Thomas there for the follow-up. Sally's done a good job around the offensive glass, being very aggressive.
Here's Little, been quiet since that first quarter. Kicks to the corner, putting it on the floor. Shelton Hoskins couldn't finish, contested underneath, but the offensive rebound this time to Poliytech. And Terrell Little will head to the free throw line, and this time it was the Panthers hitting the offensive glass.
I like Terrell Little's game. He finds a lot of different ways to help his team, a lot of ways to score, position himself well on the offensive glass as he did earlier in the game, and here he is back. So if you're struggling from the outside, what better way to get yourself going than getting an inside easy shot or getting fouled and putting some more pressure on the defense and getting to the free throw line.
You can hear that Sally's student section as Little misses the first free throw.
It's a terrific environment in here, guys. I just love coming into Sally's. I've done it for a number of years as an opposing coach, but they have great camaraderie here at Sally's, great tradition. I just love the way the students bond together. They do a fantastic job.
It's Little, another free throw on the way. Up and through. So he's got 5 here in the first half, 17-14, back to a one-possession game.
Now, important for Sally's to have a really good possession here. Move the ball in and out of the post, move the ball around the perimeter. Don't settle for an early shot. Put some more pressure on this Poliytech matchup zone.
Hinson had room. He'll let it fly, and once again, another missed three for Sally. Is not getting these triples to fall early. Sheldon Hoskins in transition. You don't want to do that with Justin Hines sitting there, but the putback is up and in, and I believe that was Terrell Little once more.
It was. He was well positioned. He saw the shot blocker going up, and as a shot blocker, once you leave your feet, you're not going to be able to get involved on the rebounding process, and that's what happened there. Not enough Sally's players back to help out on the glass.
17-16. Here's Smith in the corner. He'll put it on the floor, get baseline, swatted away. Got a piece of it, was Brewington, and then a foul on the defensive side for Salesianum. And that's going to be team foul number 5, 0 against Poliytech.
I love the decision by Smith. He missed one from there earlier. He shot fakes, drives along the baseline. It's always a little tough proposition against a matchup zone, but got inside and just got himself a little too quick. Been better off withdrawing the ball or kicking it through to the far baseline.
Under 5 to go in the half. Brewington. Defense comes to help. He gets it to Wilkerson. He'll have room to go from the free throw line. He knocks down the mid-range jump shot.
Impressive play by the senior coming off the bench, Cameron Wilkerson, using a shot fake. Sally's now really trying to be aggressive defensively, leaving their feet too early, not getting enough help. Credit Poliytech for hanging in there when Sally's got off to such a great start.
Timeout on the floor. Coach Trevson wants to talk about it. We'll stay right here live at Salesianum High School. 18-17, Poliytech now with their first lead of the evening with 4:38 to go here in the first half. Let's look around the state. William Penn opening up a 23-12 lead there at home in their contest with the St. George's Hawks. Caravel and Sanford, again, they're in action at Sanford, 15-14. Caravel's taking their first lead as they're into the second quarter. Mount Pleasant and Middletown battling down at the home of the top-seeded Cavaliers, 19-12 with 4 minutes to go in the first half there. And then Tower Hill was supposed to be in action. We'll see if we can get you an update there, and looks like we do, as they are taking on Coach, the Quakers from Wilmington Friends. You know a couple of
Yes,
players
my
on
dark
that
horse
team.
and that's going to be a great matchup over there. I was kind of hoping we could do that game, but we weren't. This is a great one to have here. But what a great rivalry. This is the third time the teams have played.
So 24-21 over at Tower Hill. And again, I'm assuming Tower Hill is ahead 24-21, but we'll get you an update here as we are back underway. 4:30 to go, first half action. Poly out in front of Salesianum 18-17.
The riddle to solve here is how to attack this matchup zone. You need some more cutters, and you need to work through the post.
Or you can have Justin Hines inside. Once again, when he elevates, he's able to just split defenders. He glides to the glass and lays it in for two more.
Hines doing a great job from that mid-post area, attacking with his right hand to get to the basket.
Here's Wilkerson, knocked down the last shot. He'll feed it back up top, and they get it to Little. Under 4 to go in the half. Little one-on-one with Hines. Still working around. Sheldon Hoskins bounces to the corner, leads to a three, and that's canned by Xavier Brewington, his second three of the evening.
Brewington has great range on his three. If you allow a player to get into the middle with that horizontal split, you're going to draw the help and allow that corner man to be open. A nice execution.
And this time they
Poliytech.
collapse on Justin Hines. They doubled him after he got the entry feed up near the free throw line, but a little too aggressive were the Panthers. They'll get called for the reach.
It's a nice adjustment by Poliytech. Before, when Hines got the ball, they allowed the middle man in the zone to play him one-on-one. That was not a good matchup. So now they're going to dig in from the top and force Hines to throw it back out.
And the inbound was stolen. Buffon tried to get it to Hines. He wound up into the hands of Terrell Little. And now Poliytech with control in the backcourt. Going to have to get it, though, up a pass half court, and they do here with 3:30. Wilkerson to the corner. Little thought about it. And they'll reset it up top with Brewington.
A nice job there of resetting, as you mentioned, by Poliytech. They didn't like what they had. They pulled out. Sally's did a nice job there of getting back and containing the ball as it attacked.
3:11 in ticking. Wilkerson controlling it for the Panthers. Henson steps out on Brewington. Brewington. Whip pass underneath. Couldn't be handled, though, by Jalen Anderson. And now here comes Henson ahead of the pack. Henson floater up and through, and that's going to be a charge. Great positioning by Brewington as Henson elevated. But he took it, and it'll go against the Sows, and that'll be on Henson, I believe, his second.
And that's a tough call. I thought Henson had left his feet prior to the man moving in. That was a tough one. I'm not sure they might have wanted to wave that one off if you really watched the tape. But again, if you're attacking down the middle and you're looking for defenders to be there, just get your body under control and go straight up.
Now Poly with that pressure, able to beat it for the second as they get it into their side of the floor. Brewington crosses over, stops in the paint. And now it's Gamber. 2.5 to go in the first half, 21-19 in favor of the visiting Poliytech Panthers.
Poliytech runs a lot of isolations. They do like to reverse the ball and then attack the closeout.
Gamber tried to go baseline. He kicked it back out, but we did have a whistle, and I believe that's going to be a foul underneath on Sally's. So that'll be the 7th team foul. We'll be shooting here for the Panthers. It'll be a 1-on-1 for Kyle Gamber.
Poliytech has played fairly good defense without fouling. Salesianum's been overly aggressive. Couple of fouls that I'm sure they would like to have back, and that's put Poliytech in the 1-on-1.
First free throw for Gamber is no good, and that was the front end. So Sally's escapes. They don't give up any points on the possession. Still 21-19. Thomas, a little hesitation, and what a move by Kareem Thomas, but how about Justin Hines? He's the garbage man tonight.
Hines has been terrific. Great anticipation of where the ball's being missed to, and then he has the skill to finish.
Trying to answer quickly for Poly. The three off the hands of Burlington, no good. And then Aiden Montgomery coming in with a big rebound, fresh into the ball game for the South.
Aiden Montgomery is a terrific athlete. He's the Salesianum punter. Sometimes he plays wide receiver. Terrific young man, has given Salesianum some great minutes off the bench, kind of known for his defense. But let me tell you something. He can score. He's got a lot of game, and it's really nice to see him being rewarded coming off the bench and giving them some big minutes.
We're all tied at 21. 1:43 to go in the first half. Number 12 and number 5 going at it in round 2. Kick to the corner. That's a big three, and it's knocked through. Brandon Buffone. And we talked about him in the pregame show. His sister had a big game last night. He wants to follow suit here tonight.
Brandon Buffone, a veteran, comes from a great basketball family. He is a terrific player, a great senior leader. Big shot from the corner to help his team get going here late in the first half.
But Sally's back up by 3. 1:11 to go in the half. Extra pass to the corner. And now they'll reset it here with Shelton Hoskins. To the free throw line is Brewington. Nice find to Kyle Gamber underneath, who does the rest.
Nice movement off the ball by Poliytech, and as good as Little is with his shooting, he is a really good passer as well.
24-23, under a minute in ticking. Buffon knocked down the last one. He'll pass it to Thomas. Thomas will get it back here. In the corner, they left him open. He'll let it fly off the side of the rim. No good. Rebound to Little, and now they'll quickly get it up to Brewington. Brewington going to attack Sword out, spins inside, hands back to Little, who finishes with the floater.
Well, a nice job of pushing the ball in transition and then kicking the ball out to the cutter. Poliytech's movement off the ball has been really good here in the last couple minutes of the half.
10 seconds to go in the half. 25-24, Poly with the 1-point lead. Here's Thomas with 4. Gonna pull up with 2, lets it fly, and knocks it down. Kareem Thomas with a chance at the rare 4-point play as we head to the locker room.
Well, Thomas, I think, lost track of the clock initially and then figured it out and attacked off the high ball screen. And then I believe was that Little coming by with an overly aggressive contest. You never want to do that. And a big-time shot here and give Salesianum a chance to get some momentum going into the halftime.
So with .4, Thomas with a chance for a 4-point possession, and Sally's was down 1 before the possession, and after, they'll be up by 3. .4, not a lot of time. It's not going to get off for Brewington, and that'll do it. And what an action-packed first half here at Salesianum. 27-25, the Sals and the Panthers, but Sally's going to lead as we head to the break at home.
Boy, what a terrific half by both teams. I think Salesianum had some moments there that they'd like to get some of those shots back, but they worked very hard on the offensive glass. They did a really nice job of sharing the ball, and then a couple big-time plays near the end of the game by Hines and by Thomas. Poliytech, I think, has got to feel really good about themselves coming up on the road, playing extremely well, sharing the ball, getting some great off-the-ball movement, and really playing up to their capabilities. So it's going to be a wonderful second half.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get you first half stats and everything you need to know to get ready for half number 2. It's round 2 of your DIAA Boys Basketball State Playoffs, 28-25. Sally's in front of Poly here at home.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
But have you tried Premier?
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Lupo Italian Kitchen in downtown Rehoboth Beach. Come check us out. Located inside the Hotel Rehoboth, Lupo serves coastal Italian cuisine with fresh pasta made in-house daily. Lupo features plenty of unique craft cocktails and an extensive award-winning all-Italian wine list. Popular dishes include lobster bucatini, veal meatballs, grilled swordfish, and eggplant parmesan. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue, serving happy hour daily and dinner 7 days a week. See you soon.
How you doing? My name's Mike Cassidy. I'm the founder and president of Cassidy Painting. I started back in 1984, incorporated in 1986. I never had the word no in my vocabulary. When someone called me to do a job, I always said yes. Whether it was a struggle, whether it was 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, it didn't matter. And with that philosophy, we were able to grow to the size we are. We employ close to 80 individuals.
We really enjoy being in the family business. I look forward to coming to work every day, and it's so nice to work with the people that we work with in the office. We've really become a family with them. We really create a family experience around here.
And Cassidy Painting is a very diversified company. We don't say no to anything. We deal with everything from epoxy floors to painting buildings to spray foam insulation, spray fireproofing. If it deals with a coating, we can handle it. So when our customers call and they're under the gun and they know the need to get a job done, they know who to call because we perform. We've always been performed. We've never been replaced out of 37 years of business. For any of your painting needs, we can handle it.
High school athletics is not what it used to be. The sporting goods industry has been disrupted, adding to coach and athletic director daily challenges. BSN Sports stands ready to change the fundamentals of our industry, giving our customers the advantages they need right now. Your dedicated local sales pro is supported with nationwide team service, including sport and category experts. Get the look of D1 colleges and pro teams with our program that streamlines ordering your staff apparel, player gear, and fan wear. Stretch your budget with our fundraising solution. Free and ready in minutes. Our campus branding products are perfect for boosting school and team pride. BSN Sports has the advantages you need right now.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Come check us out. Located in the Rehoboth Gateway next to Blue Coast Rehoboth, Thompson Island will follow the Sodell tradition of serving beautiful, simple food that will pair perfectly with our fresh homemade beer. Thompson Island is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, enjoy happy hour with friends at the bar, or spend a day in the beer garden playing bocce ball and ping pong. Thompson Island Brewing Company in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, open 7 days a week. See you soon.
Your home, your community. It's not just where you live, it's where you belong. At Dover Federal Credit Union, we understand what it means to be local. We started here, and we're not going anywhere. We're as local as it gets, and we like it that way. We're not just a financial institution. We are the local credit union that you can trust. Local people, local decisions. Dover Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining, and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon.
Wraps, signs, banners, and promotional items that can help your business stand out from the rest. Looking for an excellent way to convey a professional image? Customized promotional products are the perfect way to target new customers, increase employee retention, and boost your brand awareness. Let the professionals at Cassidy Graphics bring your advertising ideas to life. Give them a call today at 302-326-2412. Again, that number is 302-326-2412. Again, Cassidy Graphics brings your advertising ideas to life.
Welcome back live inside Birkenhauer Memorial Gymnasium. Nick Alessandrini alongside Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell, Mike Lang here on Delaware Live Sports. It's your DIAA Boys Basketball State Tournament, round number 2. Salesianum, your 5 seed, had a first-round bye. Poliytech got a big win in their opening game, and then they come on the road here, Coach. And what a battle it's been between the 5 and the 12. A 4-point play to close out the half for the junior Kareem Thomas has Sally's up by 3.
Really impressive first half by both teams. I give Sally's a lot of credit. Hadn't played for a long time. Came out very sharp. I think their defense probably can be a little bit tougher. They've allowed some backside cuts, and they haven't been able to keep the ball on the side quite as much. But they are difficult to play because they're long and they're active. They know how to play that man-to-man. Let's see if they don't try to use that pressure, that 2-2-1 3/4 court press that they used in the first half a couple times. One time got a turnover. Poliytech, I think, has been superb. They've shared the ball well. They've hustled. They've hung in there against a really good team. Something to think about if this game goes down to the wire in points and games decided by 5 points or less. Salesianum is 1-1, so they haven't been in many close games. Poliytech is 5-0.
Well, how about that one? Something to keep an eye on, as Coach mentioned as we progress. Let's take a look around the state, and we'll get started with Middletown and Mount Pleasant. 27-15 at the half. Cavaliers have opened up a double-digit lead. Over at William Penn, they're up 34-20 at the half over the Hawks from St. George's. It was 22-21. Sanford out in front of Caravel in a low-scoring matchup, Coach. And if Sanford was hoping, you talked about Coach Ty Berry, they wanted to slow things down. You got to against the Buccaneers, and they got a 22-21 lead going into the third quarter.
That home court at Sanford is really a tough place to play. They've defended it well throughout the history of their basketball program, and they're trying to do it again tonight. But this Caravel team, to me, has been very impressive. I think they have the capabilities of winning either in a low-scoring game, which this is probably going to be, or in an up-tempo game. It's going to be, the key is whether Caravel can get to the free throw line. They're an excellent free throw shooting team. And, of course, Ty Perry and his charges want to keep them away from there, and they themselves are very good at closing out games.
31-30, the Quakers out in front of your defending state champion, Tower Hill. Hiller's third quarter action just underway over at Tower Hill. Now for some stats here in the first half. Brewington had 10 to lead the way for the Panthers. Darrell Little had 9, and then it was Justin Hines with 10 to lead the way for the Sows. They'll go right to him here to kick off the third quarter. Back to Buffon as they were looking for him inside, and they get it to him. Hines fading away from the block, and that is a pretty jump shot there for Justin Hines. Looks a little like Dirk Nowitzki.
That looks like a shot that Hines has practiced quite a bit. That matchup zone continuing to be slowing down the Salesianum attack.
So now the Poliytech Panthers, and this is a strategy-wise from Salesianum School here, as they switched up their benches to the far side so the opposing team can shoot into the student section in the second half, so the Panthers are going to have to deal with that.
And that is a very boisterous and noisy student section. Sally's always well represented wherever they play, but especially at home.
Gamber drives baseline, kicks back out top to Sheldon Hoskins. Sally's now up by 5. As Poly works it around. Sally's was down by 2 with 5 seconds to go in the second quarter. Fadeaway 3 in the corner, just missing off the hands of Brewington. Hines, how about another rebound?
Salesianum with a really good defensive sequence that time. playing their man-to-man and not doing a lot of switching.
Hines went baseline, kick, perfect pass into the corner for Hinson, who couldn't answer, but R.J. Johnson there for the rebound, but his putback just missing and then stolen away from Brewington.
Well, Johnson spent a lot of time in the first half on the bench due to that foul trouble. Misses an easy one there that he'd like to have back.
Little drives, kicks, tipped, but winds up back in the hands of Hoskins, and now Poliytech will reset it.
When you go one-on-one against Sally's, you're going to confront that length, and even though they're not incredibly tall, they are long and quick with great lateral movement patterns.
Here's Sheldon Hoskins in the corner, 8 threes in his last 4 games. This time he'll drive back to Gamber. Gamber, left-hand floater falls way short, but it's going to be a tie-up underneath between Buffone and Little. And that'll stay down here.
Well, Gamber got caught in between. Instead of a running regular hook shot or a jump hook, he kind of got caught there and tried that left-hander. Good job, though, of penetrating into the lane.
No inbound from the corner, and they turn it over. So Poliytech couldn't find Gamber on the far sideline, and instead it'll be a turnover for Salesianum. Or excuse me, for Poliytech. So Sally's going to get the ball back here with a 30-25 lead as we tick under 6 minutes to go here in the third.
First turnover of the half by either team. 6 for Sally's, 5 for Poliytech. A pretty well-played game from that standpoint, guys.
Hinson looking for his first triple, and he finds it here early in the third. Cans one from the left wing.
And that's one thing for Poliytech you don't want to see happen is Isaiah Hinson get hot. He's got great range on that three-point shot. He's much improved from out there. Missed a few, but he's unafraid to continue to shoot.
And then we're going to have a carry by Darrell Little. You don't see that called too often, but he'll get called with that one as he tried to put it on the floor. Turnover. Now Sally's gets the ball back up by 8. And when we saw the game against Howard with the Salesianum coach, it was an Isaiah Hinson start to that third quarter, and that propelled them to a big victory, already off to a good start here in this third.
He's one of those players, because of his ability, has a great sense of, all right, I might want to take the game over here for 2 or 3 minutes, and he's very good at that, and obviously has the skill level to enhance that ability.
And I think he's done a great job this year, and maybe not so in the past as he's grown and evolved in this program, letting the game come to him. Sometimes likes to force some stuff, but we've seen him here over the second half of the year really let the game come to him, and he can control things. Here he is inside. The floater got it to go, and there is Isaiah Hinson on cue.
Sally's very good at underneath out-of-bounds plays. Hinson with a great post-up inside.
But a quick answer. Don't blink. Shelton Hoskins catches one open from the right side and knocks down the triple. So a quick inbound. The Panthers get it right down the floor, and Shelton Hoskins, who's known for his three-point shooting ability, finds his first triple of the evening.
I like that timeout by the veteran coach, John Pierce. His team struggling a little bit at the start of the second half. A couple of turnovers. Sally's getting in rhythm, especially with Hinson. They hit a big shot. They cut the lead, and he takes a timeout. I think, if nothing else, to be sure, hey, we've got to play better defense at the end. Let's have a solution for Hinson, who really is their key player. He makes them go. And then let's make sure we continue to attack via the dribble and then with kickouts to the extra man that might be open in their offensive alignment.
5 points already for Hinson here to start the third quarter. He's got 7 for the game. And starting it the exact same way we saw, as I mentioned, against Howard, but also doing it with the passing in that game as well. So he's a great distributor, and we'll see if that help defense comes. He's able to distribute and find some teammates. But right now, 7-point lead still for Sally's after the 3-ball. And they'll have possession here with under 5 to go in the third.
And Poliytech continues to play this matchup zone. I give them a lot of credit. Even though they're down, they're going to stay with what got them there. They're going to force Sally's to attack. At some point with the lead, Salesianum may decide to withdraw the ball and make Poliytech come out and play man-to-man.
Yep, Coach Trevison has done a great job with his in-game adjustments and just what he's been able to do here at Salesianum the last few years. Here's Buffone, again, 7-point lead for Sally's. They'll feed Hines. He's been so effective from that spot. Trying to get it down low to Johnson. It's picked and stolen, and here's the speed from Poliytech. Little takes Hines to the basket. Good defense in transition. Couldn't get it to go, but the putback for Little, able to stay with it.
Boy, a great job with the steal and then staying with the miss. Salesianum hustling back, but a great play by Little.
35-30, back to a 5-point game. Smith from the corner, wanted 3. The freshman couldn't get it to go, and that's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Panthers. So Sally's going to get another shot here with a second chance.
One thing R.J. Johnson does, he likes to roam the perimeter. He sees himself as a three-point shooter. He really is good with that left hand, but I love it when he goes inside. And there's a terrific take by Justin Hines, who might be playing his best game of the year.
Yeah, and he saved it for when they needed him most. He's in the double digits, 14 points for Justin Hines. That is a game high. Lead back to 7, under 4 to go in the third as Wilkerson has it up top for the Panthers. Polly being patient, looking for something. Here's Brewington, kick to Gamber, thought about the three. A couple hesitations, nice feed underneath. Brewington couldn't finish though, and then a big rebound by Brandon Buffone.
Buffone's come up with some really big plays. That veteran that he is, he knows exactly how to help his team in the clutch.
They let him free, straightaway three though wouldn't go. And now Gamber quickly up ahead to Little. 2 on 3 for Poliytech. The pull-up jumper though from Terrell Little. Didn't have a lot of options as Sally's was able to get back, but he finds a nice jump shot.
Well, excellent job by Poliytech pushing the ball. That's what Poliytech does extremely well. They find the open man, play in the mid-range. A wonderful shot off the bounce by Little.
Working it around, great passing by Salesianum, but a better job by Brewington to clog up that lane to the corner where Thomas has been effective all season long. And it'll stay with Salesianum. Montgomery will check in alongside Swartout. And a couple Sal's will hit the bench, and then he comes the freshman as well, Anthony Smith.
Coach Trevisan go into his bench to try to just change up the dynamic here a little bit as Poliytech continues to hang in there. Polytech's defense a little bit more engaged here at this moment than they were earlier.
Under 3 to go in the third. Into the corner to Swartout. One more to Thomas, who will put it on the floor. Step back, contested jumpers way off the mark. And once again, here come the Panthers. It's Terrell Little. Little trying to get by the freshman Smith, up off the glass, too short. And now Smith has the rebound and quickly the other direction. Nice leave ahead up top to Cam Thomas. A beautiful pass by Anthony Smith, and Thomas able to finish it off.
Anthony Smith made the play. Great defense at the other end, retracing, taking the ball down, not getting too deep, and dropping the ball off to the hard-running wing, Thomas.
Here's Brewington. Wants a screen, won't get it. He'll put it on the floor, taking himself. Kick to the corner, and turned it over on the pass. And now Sally's will get it back with 2:13 to go in the third. And now a 7-point lead.
Important here that Sally's runs a really nice set. They've spread the court against this matchup zone. They've worked into the post. I think they've been a little reliant on the three-point shot a little too quickly. When they slow down and get the ball inside, they've had a lot of success.
Henson has that one blocked. Now the other way, Sheldon Hoskins, and he returning the favor is Anthony Smith in transition. So both teams coming up with big blocks, and Poliytech will have to inbound.
Some great speed there by both Smith and Swartout to get back on defense to challenge that shot. Poliytech, if nothing else, is a very explosive and dynamic team in the open court.
39-32, Poly has to get it in. And they do to Brewington. Brewington has it just stolen away from Montgomery, who just took it out of his hands.
Montgomery, that senior, playing some great defense. That's his second big play since entering the game in the first half late and here in the second.
Pull-up game for Isaiah Henson is pure. And Henson's got himself 7 in the second half, and Sally's back to a 9-point lead.
That's Isaiah Henson at his best. Sensing the defense was bailing off of him a little bit, gets into the mid-range. He's really good at that level.
Little and Gamber trying to find an answer. That's a deep three for Gamber. He can hit it, but shorted that one. Rebound up for grabs. Corralled by Jalen Anderson, who puts up the floater and finds an answer as that one falls through.
Anderson, kind of a second thought on offense. Really hasn't done much there, but he's that really veteran player that knows what to do, and a fine finish inside.
There's Zach Swartout quickly down the other side. He had some room to operate. They get it to him on entry speed. He lays it in with the left hand.
Swartout's got a great feel for angles driving to the basket.
Poly trying to answer. Sheldon Hoskins, corner three is good. And we said it, he's hit 8 in the last 4. Give him his first tonight.
And there's the split that attracts the Sally's defense to compress into the lane, and then the kick out to the corner. Really good offense by Poliytech.
Again, that was his second, He's got 6, and the lead now to 6 for the Sal's, who can hold for the last shot with 20 seconds and winding here in the third quarter.
Good clock management here by Salesianum. Coach Trevisan going to call probably a set play, maybe go through the post, or let Henson Henson create from the corner.
It's the freshman Smith with 5 seconds. Around the screen, pull up for 3, and the bank is open on a Thursday night And how about 2 threes in the last 2 buzzers to end the quarters? It was Kareem Thomas with a 4-point play to end the half, and then the freshman Anthony Smith pulling up and knocking down the triple to end the third quarter.
A great job by Salesianum holding the ball for the last shot. Smith attacked at exactly the right moment, gets in there, whether it was a bank or not. I just like the composure of the freshman, takes a big shot, willing to do it, and then finds a way to make it.
Sally's with some big shots to end the quarters. They lead now by 9. We go back and forth here from Salesianum. 46-37, Sal's on top of Poly.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
And you can hear that Salesianum crowd to our right. Nick Allison-Girini alongside the coach Bill Harmon. Jason Winchell to our left producing. Mike Lang up on the camera. To the fourth we go. It's round 2 of your basketball state tournament here in Delaware. 12-seeded Poliytech and 5-seeded Salesianum as Sally's coach a nice third quarter. They end the quarter again with a big 3, this time off the hands of Anthony Smith. He'll control it now, and Sally's is up by 9.
They've been terrific at closing out quarters and a half here tonight. Really is the major difference in this game.
And how about the driving capability this time? Zach Swartout again has been able to put the ball on the floor and find his way to the basket.
They've done a nice job of driving the ball into lanes, openings in that matchup zone, and Poliytech may have to change that defense here as they fall behind.
Lead back to 11, into double digits now once again, and Brewington just lost control. And that's going to be another turnover for Poly, coach, and they had a few of them there in that third quarter.
After taking care of the ball well in the first half against some good Salesianum defense, they've turned it over now 5 times here in the second half.
Again, just a minute into the fourth quarter. Sally's up by 11, make it 13 plus 1. Once again, Anthony Smith driving to the basket and able to find it and the foul.
Smith loves to attack along the baselines. He's done it from both sides. He's a very capable finisher inside. The problem with Poly is if you get by the front line, the first line of defense, they really don't have a shot blocker or a rim protector. Salesianum's been really good on the offensive glass as well as attacking and finishing around the basket.
5 points for Anthony Smith all in the second half. Sally's has their largest lead now at 14. Poly going to have to find a way back into this one here with 7 minutes to go. Gamber trying to find a shot, just can't do it. They've been glued to him all evening. Anderson able to split the defense up and through off the window.
Anderson's made a couple really nice plays. The veteran doing a nice job. He's been around for a couple of years. He's a junior, but he really provides them with some great energy and some length.
Sally's trying to answer quickly. They've done each time so far here in the second half. Can't do it there. Anderson ahead of the pack. Swartout with great transition defense to contest that one, and that's no good. Smith lofting it up for Kareem Thomas, and everyone on their feet here at Birkenhauer Gym as Sally's starting to pull away here in the fourth, and that one an exclamation point.
Zach Swartout made the play, though, getting back on defense and setting up that initial attack.
Anderson has the last 2 buckets for Poly. Won't find one there, but does earn himself a trip to the line. And this has been a fun last few minutes. If you're a Sally's fan, that is putting together another run for the Sal's. And you said it, a guy really standing out here in the last few minutes is Swartout. Some nice defensive plays, was able to put it on the floor. Not known for the offense or maybe scoring as much, but has a few nice drives and finishes, and then the defense into offense. He is right, as you mentioned, Coach, setting up the alley-oop from Smith to Thomas.
Zach Swartout provides them with a lot of energy and a lot of intelligence off the bench. When you can bring in a player like that, who knows his role and then has that kind of offensive capability of putting it on the floor and scoring against bigger people, you've really got something. I think Coach Trevison has done a nice job utilizing his bench, letting his starters get into the flow as they did early on, but gotten some great minutes from Swartout and Montgomery.
2 missed free throws shooting into that student section for Poliytech, so an empty possession for the Panthers. R.J. Johnson easy off the glass with the left hand, and things are starting to free up for Sally.
Sally's doing a great job of reversing the ball with the skip pass. Henson found Johnson, who's just really tough to deal with around the basket.
And the sophomore Johnson swats that one away, but it was the freshman Anthony Smith who I believe will get called for the foul underneath, as Sally's really opening things up here in the fourth quarter. Playing loose, playing free, great defense, great shots. And they're looking at a 16-point lead, but some free throws coming up here for Poliytech.
Salesianum's overcome that early foul trouble. Both Henson and Johnson had 2 fouls in the first half and missed some big minutes. But their bench responded extremely well. Obviously, we talked about Sword out of Montgomery, and then Smith coming off the bench is an electric player. He can do a lot of different things for a freshman. Really good at driving and attacking and providing additional energy off the bench.
Polly's missed their last 3 free throws, shooting into that section, make it 4. And Sally's taking control here in the fourth quarter. You talked about at the half, Sally's was rushing some of those shots. They weren't reversing the ball, as you mentioned. Well, they came out of the half a different team, and then Cam Thomas might find his easiest bucket of the evening that time. Nobody there to stop him on his path to the buck.
Too many straight line driving lanes for Salesianum, and they've really taken advantage of that, hurting this Poliytech defense as it's gotten stretched.
Poly able to find their first field goal to end that drought, courtesy of Xavier Brewington. He's got a team-high 12 timeout on the floor. We'll stay right here. 57-41, Coach. 5:24 to go in the ball game. But it seems like just a few moments ago we had a 5-point game. Sally's able to show off the defense and turn that into some points, and they're making the extra pass and finding good looks here in the second half.
They've done a good job at both ends of the floor. I think their team defense has been very good. They've helped a lot. They've cut off the driving lanes that were available in the first half. They've rebounded the ball well. They've contested shots. And at the offensive end, their spacing of the court's been superb. They've done a great job of attacking in the straight line drives. They've taken advantage along the baseline. And Poliytech, as they got behind, just tended to get overextended. That played into Salesianum's hands. And Salesianum, to their credit, have been good enough to take advantage of those opportunities.
Get you some score updates now. How about the Quakers on the road against Tower Hill, leading 44-40. Make it 44-42. It looks like Dean Shepard had himself a bucket in transition there. So 44-42. The Quakers, coach, have a lead here over Tower in the fourth quarter.
Well, I'm not surprised. Difficult, as you mentioned earlier, to beat a team 3 times in a season, especially a good team. Friends has great size. They've got an outstanding player in Robbie Tattersall, but their other players have really helped out. They're extremely long. They are very athletic. They're very tough-minded. A lot of football players playing. Finn Butler had 3 threes in the first half to match Dylan Shepard. So when you can get a player like that to match the other team's really great shooter, you're obviously going to be able to stay in the game. The high-scoring game has benefited Friends School throughout the year.
Inbound, Sally's now getting some pressure from Poliytech, and it looked like Smith maybe stepped through there. Took an extra step, so the pressure from the Panthers works out here on the inbound, and they'll get a turnover down by 16.
Well, Smith did the right thing. He tried to step through the double team, which was exactly appropriate. I think he just slid his pivot foot, but a good job by Poliytech trapping in the right spot.
We're approaching the 5-minute mark. 2 subs head to the scores table for Salesianum. Not a lot of depth here for the Panthers. Little gets inside, floater with the right hand, falls right in. A nice touch that time by Terrell Little.
Well, Little's been outstanding. He is a very talented player. He can drive it. He can shoot in the mid-range. He's very active with and without the ball.
Sally's breaks the pressure. Cam Thomas going to do the smart thing here, pull it back up top. And we talked about the freshman Anthony Smith, but in the game here late for Coach Trevisan, in control of the ball here. A lot of confidence from the coach in the freshman point guard.
Certainly has been, and Smith has provided them with a lot of high-level play and energy. Sally's is a very interesting team. After a loss to William Penn on January 21st, they've won 8 of 9. And whatever they did at that point to kind of change the dynamic of the season, I'm sure it's a variety of different things. And the only loss in that period was a 2-point loss to Sanford down at the Chase Fieldhouse in the Sean Locke Classic. So this is a team that has really improved throughout the year. Coach Trevisan's got to be very happy and proud of his team's effort, but that had to be just a very seminal moment in their season to make that turnaround.
Speaking of Sanford, they are at home against Caravel in that 8-9 matchup, one of the better games here. A game that Caravel won by 20. We were courtside for that one about a month or two ago, and here Sanford with 6:20 to go. They lead Caravel 33-26, trying to avenge that loss from earlier in the season. We're back in action here. Middletown up by 15 over Mount Pleasant, and Sally's up by 14 here at home over the visiting Panthers. Trying to find the back door off R.J. Johnson, picked and stolen. Now it's Little. Kick to the corner. Brewington, can he find three? No, but Gamber skies, puts it in, and the foul. Kyle Gamber coming in with 17 points per game, has bucket number 3, his first of the second half, and they're going to need him in these final 4 minutes if they want to get back in this one.
Gamber, a terrific scorer and athlete. Fairly quiet throughout this game. Credit Salesianum's defense on him. But here he's finding a way to help his team getting to the offensive glass and playing through contact to have an opportunity for a three-point play.
And he knocks it down. Three-point play completed. He's got 7. Again, he played for the Philippines. He'll be heading back there next year at university. One of the best schools to play and continue his basketball career. Had a chance to play in the under-18s last year for his country as Hinson fading away, banks it in. And that will be a N1 in the NBA, excuse me. That'll be an N1 right here at Burke and Howard Gym.
Isaiah Hinson, when he is at his best, plays at a marvelous pace. He controls his team, he gets them organized, he can pass, but he's also really good at getting to certain spots on the court, using his physique and playing through contact. He's a muscular young man, obviously a weight room guy, but has great body control and knows how to use it.
59-46. Gamber pump fakes on the 3, drives, hangs, can't finish. Swartout tips it to Hines for the rebound.
Well, Hines has been terrific. His finishes around the basket in the first half were magnificent. He's long, he's athletic, does a lot of little things to make Sally's go.
And then a touch foul out here on the perimeter. Gamber got a piece of Swartout, and you can see kind of the energy just starting to drain a little bit on that Poliytech defensive side. And Salesianum 3 minutes and 37 seconds away from advancing to the quarterfinals on Saturday. But got to still take care of business. They're up by 13. Poly can score in bunches, but they're going to need to find a big-time rhythm if they want to try to find a win here on the road.
Well, Polytech has really had a great resurrection of their season. There's Smith hitting another big 3 off the dish from Henson. But this is a team that 4 years ago was in 1920 season was 5-15. Then they were 6-6, 10-10 last year, but got to the tournament. And this year, 16-4 in the regular season, winning the Blue Hen Conference. The Henlopen North Conference with an undefeated record. They have been outstanding. John Pierce had done a magnificent job with this program.
R.J. Johnson puts both hands on the glass for that layup underneath, beating the pressure. Did Salesianum. Little trying to get down. We have a tie-up, it should be. Instead, it'll be a foul here as Little tried to get that one up with 2:53 to go, and a 16-point lead here for Salesianum. Xavier Brewington, he will graduate this year alongside Kyle Gamber. Darrell Little, though, will be back alongside Anderson as part of that starting lineup that will return for the Panthers next year. You talked about it. They've gotten better every year. Going to be tough graduating some of these seniors, but you still got a couple of those starters left on the roster and a chance to build something for next year.
Absolutely. When you have Darrell Little left in your program,
right.
You're in pretty good shape, and I've been impressed with Jalen Anderson as well. The Salesianum team, on the other hand, probably will advance. So we're going to be talking about them more and more as we progress into the tournament. But boy, they are young. Both Thomas and Hines and Hinson are juniors, and then you have the big man inside R.J. Johnson, only a sophomore. And now let's not forget about Smith, a freshman.
And they're going to have some guys to keep an eye on as we have a timeout. Another one from Coach Trevison with a 2:43 to go. We'll head back to Tower Hill here, and what a battle. 4:21 to go, 49-48. Quakers up by 1 with 4:21 to play at Tower Hill High School. So that one's coming down to the wire. Some free throws coming up for the Quakers. So it looks as if William Penn going to advance with a win over St. George's. Middletown will advance with a win over Mount Pleasant. Seaford to advance with a win over Dover. Caravel and Sanford coming down to the wire there. Tower Hill and Friends coming down to the wire. Laurel and Appo. See if we can get you an update from that one. But it's been a fun afternoon, or evening, I should say, across the board here in round 2. So Appo leading Laurel 47-40 with 4:12 to play. So that one a good one as well down in Appoquinimink.
Well, Friends School missed the second one of 2, but then got the offensive rebound.
A deep 3 straight away won't fall there. So 50-48 Quakers, as Coach mentioned, now up by 2. We'll see if the Shepherds can provide a comeback here late for Tower Hill. But just a one-possession ball game, a lot of game left at the home of the Hillers.
Well, Friends is long. They're very tough-minded, coming off a great football season. Tower Hill's got 2 outstanding players, and I've always liked their auxiliary players who really know how to complement the Shepherd twins.
Philip Kroc, a guy I had a chance to get to know in the wrestling mat. He had a great Del Castle tournament. Del Castle champ. We'll have a chance to see him tomorrow in action at the Delaware State Tournament. And how about that inbound? No one within a mile of Justin Hines, and he slams it down.
Nick, you talk about Phil Kroc. What a terrific young man. His brother played football and wrestled for Friends. His father's a wrestling coach. Phil Kroc overcame an injury in the second half of the season in his wrestling career, came back and then won his way into the state tournament. He's a great young man, very bright, and a terrific football player, one of the really fine linemen that Friends has had in a number of years.
And again, that was the Del Castle champion, beat a couple highly ranked heavyweights. Heavyweights wide open this weekend. He'll have a chance to take home a state championship. We'll have to wait and find out. Back to the game here, 66-48 as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the 4th. Burlington shot blocked by Kareem Thomas, right back into the hands of Little, who's fouled, +1. And now some whistles here in the 4th quarter, as Poly with a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play, courtesy of the junior Darrell Little.
I have a lot of respect for Poliytech. They've played extremely hard, an outstanding season. They really know who their players are, how to go to them, how to space the court. That matchup zone had a lot to do with their success throughout the year. Sally's found a solution for it. But John Pierce has done a magnificent job with his team. I like the composition of his team. He's got some really tough seniors and a couple of good underclassmen.
Darrell Little now at 20. He averages 20.8 on the season. So he's almost at his average here in this one. Under 2 minutes to go, 15-point lead for Sally's, and they'll be patient as expected. Hinson, mid-range jumper, knocks it through.
Hinson is really good at creating space with his interior part of his body. He takes on the defender, creates a little contact, and then has some space, and is really good in the mid-range.
Gamber can't get it to go off the glass, but how about Darrell Little once more? Able to find a field goal, this time on the putback.
Darrell Little is extremely opportunistic. He's long, he's quick, a really good bouncer off the floor. Has been exceptional around the offensive glass here tonight.
Well, almost to the minute mark. Here's Hines. Speaking of exceptional, he's had himself a fantastic performance. Him and Hinson leading the way for Sally's. Also Kareem Thomas in the mix as well. He had 12. Hinson with 15 right now, and of course Justin Hines with 16. Excuse me, I misspoke. Give Hinson 17.
Well, a really nice pass from Hinson to Swartout, who then attacked the closeout, gets into the lane, and then helps out his teammate inside with a wonderful little drop-off pass.
R.J. Johnson got a piece of that one. I think he'll get whistled for the foul. So some more free throws coming up for Brewington and the Panthers with 48 seconds to go, and Tower Hill takes the lead 52-50 on the road. 2 minutes to go down there. That's one of the close matchups today. And Caravel and Sanford, as well as Laurel and Appo, all those games coming down to the wire.
Well, this has been an outstanding performance, Nick, by Salesianum.
I agree.
They had some additional time off. They obviously utilized it very well. Coach Trevison kept his team engaged. I'm sure he did a lot of film work, and they were really well prepared against this matchup zone tonight. Their key players played extremely well. I thought their bench gave them some great contributions. They didn't panic when Hinson and Johnson got in foul trouble in the first half. So a really fine performance. They've done a great job at home. They're 7-2 at home on the year. This will make them 8-2, and they're going to be a really tough team. I think they're playing their best ball at exactly the right time of the season.
Poly really struggling from the free throw line into the student section here in the second half. Another whistle and a foul. this one to go against Poly. That'll be their 15th foul, so Sallies will still inbound here. Coach, we got our high five hospitality player of the game. A couple of choices here. Justin Hines had a team high 16. Isaiah Hinson was great with 15. He could go a bunch of different ways here. What do you think for our player of the game presented by High Five Hospitality?
Well, I hate to be put on the spot because I really like Isaiah Hinson's game, but I think we ought to give it to Justin Hines, the junior, along with Hinson, the junior. I thought he was really good in the clutch in the beginning of the game around the basket. Made some really good plays driving the ball as well.
I agree with you. Nate Ray.
Very tough decision.
That is a tough one. I put you on the spot.
One of my favorite football players in Salesianum in a long time. He's a big, tough guy. Looking forward to where he ends up playing football at the next level. I think it's going to be University of Delaware, but I'm not 100% sure. And that's a great find for University of Delaware and Coach Carty, but also a great opportunity for Nate Ray to stay local.
A timeout with 6 seconds to go, 72-53. As Sally's going to roll to almost a 20-point victory here in round 2 at home of your DIAA Boys Basketball State Tournament. Again, Justin Hines, your High Five Hospitality player of the game, a team high 16. Isaiah Hinson followed him up with 15, and Kareem Thomas with 12. But you talked about it, just a great team win overall for Salesianum. As we went back and forth early, it was close, but things really took off for Sally's. They were down by 2 at the end of the first half. Kareem Thomas hits a 4-point play. He's fouled on a 3 that he buries, and from that point forward, it was all Salesianum.
They did a great job of closing out the half and closing out the third quarter with some really outstanding plays. And once they got the lead, they just continued to expand it. Their bench was terrific. Swartout, Smith, and Montgomery, I thought, all had big contributions to this victory here tonight. An outstanding game for Salesianum. Again, I wanted to say Poliytech, I'm very impressed with their team. They played very hard. John Pierce did a great job with this team, and they'll be around. This Darrell Little can really play.
I'll tell you what a game we had. It was very close in the first half. Sally's, they pull away late. Of course, a great performance by Justin Hines and company. He'll be our High Five Hospitality player of the game. We'll take a quick break. Hopefully we'll get him over here for an interview here after the commercial break. We'll be right back. Sally's winner, 72-53, a big one here at home over Poliytech.
2004, when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality. High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality. High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of Fox.
And welcome back live to Birkenhauer Gym. Nick Alessandrini alongside the coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell. We're now joined by your High Five Hospitality Player of the Game, Justin Hines. What a performance from you guys here today. 72-53, big win over Poliytech. 12-5 matchups can be tricky. Poly, got a lot of hype coming into the contest. You guys got that first round bye. What was kind of the game plan coming into this contest here today?
It was just playing as a team, We came out strong, which is nice, so we just carried it along and we got the dub.
Justin, you guys lost in January to William Penn, and since then you've won 9 out of 10. What's different about this team after that William Penn loss? We did your game down at Howard. I thought you guys played very connected, great defense, really good offense. You're obviously a huge part of that, but something had to happen on the team and the dynamic. Tell me about it.
It was our mindset mostly. Like, we came in, we tried to play as a team, and we tried. Our main goal was to rebound and, push the ball, so that got us a lot of points.
And you had a team-high 16, and this one today they were getting you the ball up near the free throw line. You were able to kind of make plays that way. You were splitting defenders, getting putbacks. What was working for you personally out there today in this one?
I was just, hyping up the teammates. If we get them involved, then the whole team's getting to go, and then I get mine, everyone gets theirs.
And again, real quick, before I give Coach one more question for you, guys started off the game with that alley-oop. Was that the game plan there to set it up to try to light this place on fire early?
Yep, that was the plan.
There you go.
What's always fun, and I've coached against Salesianum for over 25 years, I think you guys have a great student section. You always defend your home court well. You're 8-2 now in the season. Tell me how that impacts a young player like yourself.
It's just energy. When you see the fans, being loud and stuff like that, it really gets you going in the start of the game, and it keeps going from there.
I thought one of the keys to the game was going to be your first 4 minutes. You've been off since that Howard victory. You obviously utilized your practice time quite efficiently, but to come out and get off to such a good start, I thought that was really one of the keys to your victory tonight.
Thank you.
And what do you guys got to do now? On to the quarterfinals, a couple more games left for that state championship run. What's this team got to do to hold that trophy in a few weeks?
Just win. That's all.
There you have it. Just win, baby. That's what it's all about. Justin, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. 16 points in a big win, 72-53 for Salesianum. Enjoy the night. Yes, sir. Justin Hines, what a performance from him and the Sows today. They get a big win, and they will advance in the tournament. Coach, final words before we close up shop today. Some good performances up and down the state of Delaware.
Well, I'm going to remember Justin Hines' comment, just win.
Just win.
I wish it was that easy, and they've put a lot of work in. Really a fabulous performance by Salesianum. I was really impressed with both ends of the court. I thought their bench was terrific. Their key players made big plays. Poliytech gave them their best shot. Yeah. This is a tough place to play against a really good team, and I think Salesianum is really doing all the things, pushing the right buttons, so to speak, if I may be so cliche. But this is a really good team who I think is playing their best ball at exactly the right moment.
You mentioned it at the show on Monday, a team that you thought could bring home a state championship. Well, they're off on the right track. A big 20-point win here as they advance to the quarterfinals. For Nick Alessandrini, the coach Bill Harmon, Jason Winchell, phenomenal producer today, and Mike Lang. That'll do it here from Father Birkenhauer Memorial Gym. The Sows, big win. They advance over Poliytech.